Hey guys, this is Come Ken, and today is going to be kind of a more impromptu stream. It's not going to be like my official ones that I do on Thursdays with all the good, you know, camera work and lighting and whatnot. I'm just drawing today and not going too hard. I might set my camera just because it's actually a more convenient setup to see any comments that are coming up. Yeah, I'm just drawing pages on my iPad, and now I'm not like doing stuff like on paper anymore. So I think that would just be a good time to do just a random stream, show what I'm working on, and just go from there. Uh, I'm just, I don't know, just working and nothing else. I have like video in the background of Yusuke Murata. He's drawing One Punch Man. I just keep manga artists playing in the background of my, just on my TV, basically at all times. So that and I'm hoping y'all can hear me, so that I have, what's the word, like inspiration to see how hard I myself should work. So I'm just gonna keep that in the background and draw. So I'll switch my screen so y'all can see what I'm doing and just get to work pretty much. Actually, it would be nice if I could see on my phone what y'all can see. That way I don't... that way it's easier to make sure that nothing wrong is happening. Let me write best, and then I'll just keep my screen up like this. But yeah, there's a whole process I do with that. I have to open my Google Docs and what time are we going? Let me see. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to do too much talking. Usually when I draw, I just listen to a podcast or music, or it's usually when I don't have much to do, or I don't have to use my brain so much in the drawing process. I'm trying to get this thing to work, but it's not showing up on my end. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. Okay, copy. Usually I'd be more like prepared from the start, but today is just impromptu. I was just like, let me just get it started. Not. Oh, geez. Oh, that's how I do it. Let me take this. Well, Basically, once I plug it in, it's a lot better. So I'll just use that to keep track of. Damn it! It's making me like that. Let me.
All right. So y'all can see me. Oh, some random people just came in. Okay. Hey, welcome. Appreciate you coming out to the show. It's not really a show today. It's more or less just me drawing while I work. So let me answer any questions y'all have right now. What's up, DC Warrior 3? I don't think I've seen you before, but welcome to the show. And you're asking, do you warm up or do studies before you get to work, or do you dive straight into it? Yeah, most days I wish I could do warm-ups or studies, but if I'm feeling behind on a day, I'll just dive straight into it. That's how it was today since I woke up late. So I was just like, let me just jump right into the work. I'm working on page 2 right now. And all of these pages I've done traditionally first. So I'm working on page 2 right now. And basically I'm trying to get through at least 4 pages today. I was hoping to do like 8, but for the most part I don't need to do too many what's the word? Adjustments digitally for the first few pages at the very least. So I'm going to just focus on that. And let me say what's up to KB Props. Appreciate you coming to the show. I'm just gonna be drawing, and that's pretty much it. Just drawing. So yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. That's really why I watch like a lot of these you know why I have Yusuke Murata playing on my TV in the background. It's like seeing him work is inspiring as well. It's like, oh, it's like working together with him, like but this is from like maybe a decade ago or less. But yeah, watching them work is like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it. So all right, let me see. So I got the screen up. Y'all can see what I'm doing. That's good. And then, oh wow. Okay. These should be, let me make them multiply that layer. And turn down the music I got going. Alright. Next. Make sure everything's good, and then I'll just start. So what I want to do, here is just make this black. But the thing about doing that is I have to leave some space open for the line. So what I'm going to do is sometimes I'll do something like this. I'll select the line, go to the next layer, and just paint over it in white. I see. I sent a comment that just came up. I saw it in my peripherals. just going to come to that pretty soon here. Let me finish this. Nick Stream says, whoa, Gorilla Stream. I'm here for it. Appreciate you coming out to the show, man. Yeah, this is not even a like serious show. I'm just working on chapter 2, and I was like, well, I'm not really doing anything else. I might as well throw up a stream and work. So that's what I'm up to right now. Now I want to close off any outside lines. I'm gonna go to this layer here and close up all these lines here. So go to black. Oops. Oh, yeah, that's where you will go to. There we go. And then I'm gonna hit this, hit that. Damn it. There's an opening somewhere here. I need to close that off. So don't worry about it in a second. I'll hit that. Go here. Now we're good. Next, I want to find. So it's opened somewhere. The line is open somewhere here, and I'm pretty sure it's this hand, this finger right here. So I'm gonna have to hit. I'm gonna turn off this layer for a second. Close the line. Close that line. That should be good. Boom. Sick. Okay. I'm gonna do what I did before. Select. Go here. I'm trying to do these as fast as humanly possible so I can go to the next step, which is coloring. So what I'm gonna do here is take this. Boom. Got the white. And then I want to color these lines here inside. Now when I fill up that space, it's going to have these inside lines colored. Deselect. Whoops. Hit that black. Boom. And then I think what I'll do is, instead of coloring it in, I'll just draw it in this time. And it's okay if this guy's a little rough, where he doesn't need to be perfectly drawn. It actually helps to make him more rough and weird. Doesn't even have ears, to be honest. Let's see. You know, sometimes I wish my drawing skills were better for this kind of stuff, but when you're just creating the story, it doesn't really, especially when you're starting off and you're alone, the art skill required to create the work to begin with doesn't really matter that much. Like, as long as people get the idea of the character and understand what it is or who it is, then you're good. You don't need to be a master artist right at the beginning. If you notice, like in most anime, if you look at the source material, like the beginning of the manga character that's being drawn or that just starts off in the manga will be drawn way different to what the anime ends up drawing. The anime has the benefit of hindsight, where they know who this character is, what type of character they are, their specific vibe, and all that stuff. So they have all that time and context to design the character and mold them to like the personality that they have throughout the story, whereas the original creator doesn't really have that. They just have their own thoughts about the character and everything they came up with their editor. So they don't have that like refined sense of what the character is supposed to look like. So they just draw how they're supposed to draw. Nick Stream says Rake and Ken are streaming. I gotta pick Ken. I appreciate that, man, but I would pick Rake. If I knew he was streaming, I'd just drop everything and watch that instead. Because Rake is really, really dope. I thought he streamed like maybe a couple days ago, but I didn't know he does it more than once. I guess maybe he was doing like a random stream, just like I'm doing now. But yeah, I like learning from him because he's a really, really good artist. But yeah, so I'm drawing. The way I'm drawing right now is like, this guy could be way more what's the word? Way more refined in how he looks or how he's drawn or expressed. But because this is like his first appearance and we don't really have like 100% great idea of who he is or what he is just yet, it's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna have to make do with what I got, or I'm just going to draw him as best I can, and then when the anime comes out, they can draw him more refined, like how he's actually supposed to look. That's just how it works with manga, like, or comics even. When you're creating something, it takes a while to get to the full finished and refined version of what it's supposed to look like. Except in the case of Invincible. Like Invincible came up with really strong designs to begin with. So like the comic counterparts were already really strong, and then in the anime they just or the cartoon, it's just not as strong for whatever reason. They just don't use all the tools of storytelling that they have. For some reason, can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me, right? Okay, yeah. Okay. And then let me remove this. Okay. I think y'all should be able to hear me just right. Huncho Joshi says, or Joshi maybe, does this take place in the Air Rider universe? That's one of those things that over time, like, I'd be able to have a better idea of it, because it's not really set in stone right now, and there's not going to be any time in the near future where it would make sense to put those characters in this. But
Um, as far as I know, you just want to you'll just treat it as its own thing, and if it ever comes to Air Rider joining this universe, then we'll wait and see. You know what I mean? Like it's not 100% set in stone, but it's something to consider for sure. So yeah, it's not set in the universe, but it's not set in the universe at this moment. You know what I mean? It's just its own thing. Dale A, what's up, yo? Appreciate you coming to the show. This is just a random stream. Says your name is Kami Ken. Yeah. I mean, that's my basic screen name for that I came up with a long time ago. I'm trying to hear my music again. Like, Dang, I wanted to listen to the music that was going. Huncho Joshy says, "Do you plan on bringing back? Hold on, bringing back Air Rider back someday, or is it done in your books?" No, it's definitely not done. I got like one more issue to put out of this current version of Air Rider, but after Saintly, it'll come back for sure. Because that story really needs to be told. Like I really need to tell it, but I have to put this first before I can go back to doing Air Rider. Air Rider is going to be rebooted in the future to make it like a stronger version, like better than what I currently have it as. Like it was my first like full-fledged comic, and I did my best on it, but it wasn't fully baked. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like I didn't have the resources that I have right now to create Saintly while making Air Rider. So I didn't have any editors, I didn't have any oversight. So it was just all me coming up with the stories and ideas. And since I thought I'd be working on it for years, I didn't get to the superhero stuff as fast as I should have for Air Rider. It was, Air Rider High School Hero, but most of it was just high school stuff. Like the hero bit doesn't come until like the end of chapter 3, and chapter 4 was when it was really supposed to start. So if I had it like my way 100%, the first series would be like 8 issues. We get like a really cool story that starts off the whole arc, and then afterward, let me see. Okay, y'all can see what I'm doing. Good. That starts off the whole arc, and then afterward, let me monochrome this. Nice. And then afterward, I would reboot it. So I would do 8 issues, but that was back when I thought I thought I was a lot faster than what I actually am. Like back then, I thought it would just be easy to do 8 issues in a few months and get it done and just put it out, but it's not that easy. Especially when I was just
working day jobs and trying to survive, like I thought it would be a lot easier than it actually was, and it wasn't. Um, and let me see if I can find a lighter pen. Yeah, I thought it would be a lot easier, and it actually wasn't. Let me see. Mm, what was I thinking? Yeah, I'd be looking at guys like DD Mark, and I'd be thinking like, oh wow, if they can do that in just a few, like 45 pages of comics in just a few, like in a month or two, then I could get 8 issues out. But I wasn't really in touch with the reality of making comics at the time. I was just thinking like, oh yeah, I can just do that. But even now that I have all day and all night to be drawing, it's like I'm still playing like catch up, trying to develop the skills to be able to draw at a rate that would allow me to make comics at a high speed for several months. Like I'm just developing that skill right now as I'm doing this, because before I always had work, and I always had things like getting my way. But now it's like there's no, what's the word? There's no excuse. It's just work and don't stop. And keep going until you finish. Just keep working and do not stop for anything. Let me see. Let me try to blend some of this. Let's see what that looks like. Okay. If I had it my way, I would just keep working just like this for as long as I possibly could. Like this is where I want to be at all times, just at my drawing desk working away. But I do want to get to a point where I'm making a decent living on my own and can move out and find a place where I can start life again, start being on my own again and all that. But yeah. Let me see. Dang, a lot of people are here. What's up, El May? How you doing? Appreciate you coming to the show. JOM, what's up? Hey, consistency is key. You are doing it. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Ancho Josh says, in the future, would you ever hire an artist to help you draw pages? Obviously, you give them notes here and there, or do you only want it to be done by yourself, drawing and everything? Definitely, I would want to have like hire other artists. Like, I want to develop a studio at some point, and I want to be able to put out comics on a monthly basis. Like, I want to have enough. Like, I want to develop a team to where I have like a solid editor who's able to help me like write and develop the stories that we're going to be publishing, and then I want to be able to put them out on a monthly monthly basis, like you have with like in Image Comics or regular comics in the industry, and develop like a studio that we can put out works a lot faster than you would expect, like Invincible, or other Image comics like Spawn and all that. But I'd be focused on actually drawing and writing the comic, and then have somebody help with the colors and maybe not the inking, but like backgrounds and stuff like that. And I would, what's the word? I would be basically like the creative director as I'm writing and drawing the thing. So I could put out stories a lot faster and have the help that's necessary to do that. What was the question again? And yeah, that's just so I have as much creative control over it, while being able to hit like high standards for making the comic in general. Bucket Hat Artist, hey, what's up? Appreciate you coming to the show, man. Yeah, I just decided to do a random stream today, like just working on my comic, drawing the black and white version before I color it. I'm setting up the ink lines before I put it through like this flatting program, and then color it and bring it to the finish. Let's see. Nick Stream says the pain in her expression hits hard. Oh yeah, I guess it's this expression right here. Actually, I got a color in her eyebrow, but appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's see. Ichthys says, hey, what's up, Ichthys? It says, what's up, Total Excellence? Yep. A Sunday stream. You're spoiling us. Oh yeah. Oh wait. No, it's Saturday stream. Yeah, Saturday. Yeah, I just decided to stream randomly for whatever. I was just like, yeah, let me just draw, because I'm just gonna be here the whole time and watching like YouTube videos and whatnot. And then when I take a break, I'll probably watch like some Yu-Gi-Oh duels or whatever. I don't even know why I'm into it so much right now. I just want to see people like duel like from the anime, but in real life. And I'll watch some anime duels too here and there, but mostly from GX, because that's the era I grew up with. That's the era I really liked. But yeah, people there's a lot of like other complaints about people like hating modern Yu-Gi-Oh because of how like complicated, or it's like the most common complaint is like they say it's like watching people play solitaire before you can even do your first turn, you know what I mean? So there's all kinds of problems with it, and I'll go back and forth between Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the Gathering. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm into right now. I'll sign up for the coloring gig. Cough cough. Nice. I'll keep that in mind, man. Appreciate it. Do you do commissions, and how much do you usually charge? I actually do those based on what's the word? Based on what the creator is looking for. They're so few and far between that my prices always go up like over time, just because of inflation and whatnot. But in the past, like anytime somebody asks me for a commission, I'll give them the price for a full commission. Like if it was to be like a full on illustration with let me see if I can bring one up to show you an example of what I mean. Search. There we go. Yeah, so if it were to be like a full-on illustration, like something like this, where it's just I do everything and it's full colors, full drawing, full rendering, everything, that would probably be like 600. And even that is probably on the low end for doing everything, like full on colors, full on, you know, inks, characters. It depends on how many characters are on there as well. If it's like 5, 6, 7 characters, that's gonna cost a lot. But if it's black and white, like I'll give a range of options. If it's just black and white, then it'll be much cheaper. If it's just 2 characters, it'll be a lot cheaper. If it's just pencils, it'll be a lot cheaper. So it depends on how much work the commissioner is willing to hire for, and I'll split it up based on what I'm willing to do or what they're willing to pay for, or like what their budget is. So like, even if I give them the full price for illustration like that, like, oh, 600, oh, I can't pay for that, and I'll be like, oh, no worries, I have other options, like you can just do pencils, or you can just do inks, or you can reduce the amount of characters. If it's just a character pinup, it'll be a lot cheaper, like just one character. If it's a comic book cover, it'll be a little bit more expensive. So it's all different types of prices based on the work. I just go from my highest price and then work down from there. So I'll give the highest price and be like, hey, this is my highest price, and from there we can work out something that works for both of us. All right, so here we go. JOM says Yu-Gi-Oh art is getting more love now with new reprint full arts. Yeah, I've been hearing about those full art cards. I don't know how I feel about them yet, because I like that they're inside the box, those arts. But we'll see how those full arts come out, because it's interesting that they're doing that, and I want to see how that turns out. So I'm going to take this, and this will be the last panel I do on this page. So I'm going to take this, and then, you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll take just going to start off that selection there, and then I will take this and come around like that. That way I'll do a little cut paste, and then I'll monochrome that. Monochrome, boom. And then from there, y'all can see what I'm doing. Good. Okay. And then take this. It's a little too close to that. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Nice. Then on the outside line, I'll take this. let me see what's up to watch time 1262. Appreciate you coming to the show. Nice art style. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Or lady, I don't know. And hello, Yosef Lopez. I was about to say Yosef Lopez. That's funny. 5141. Cool. Yeah, I'm just doing a random stream today, trying to get some work in. Not even some, I'm doing a lot. So I thought I would just stream today for no reason at all. I didn't even announce it or anything. I was just like, let me just do it. Okay. And then here's what I want to do next. I'm going to take this, do a line there. And I'm going to take this. Ooh, nice. And then do a line there. And then I might just do a line here. Yeah. It's weird because I'm hearing Yusuke Murata talk on his stream. Like while I'm drawing, and I didn't even know he used to talk on his streams at all. Like I didn't know he would be talking about stuff on his stream. I mean, I can like kind of understand what he's saying, only kind of, but that's because I know a little bit of Japanese. But even then, it's kind of weird. It's just weird being able to hear the person that you really look up to as an artist, and then see like this guy is like, Japanese artists are so just like mysterious for the most part. It's like you don't really know who they are or how they are, and then they just create all this insane work. And then you're like, is this even a human being? Like, how are they able to create such god level work? Okay, this page is done. It's like, well, for the most part, done. I'm gonna scan it in. I'm not really sure how to approach this top panel, but I'm not too worried about it right now. I'm just going to well, you know what would be kind of a cool effect is if I took this panel here and did something like this. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go do a rectangle type thing here. And then what I want to do is take a gradient, and I'll just do a gradient erase like that, like something like this. Yeah, that actually does look kind of cool. I mean, I'm not gonna keep it here because when it's time to color, it's gonna like mess up the program, or it's not gonna come out right. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep this here just as a note for what I want to do when I actually do the page, because that is not a bad effect. I like how it gradiates out when it's down, and then it lets her head kind of come out, like just be more, what's the word, of a focus as to what she's looking at. There's still no connections between like this guy's face, like we don't really know what he looks like besides his teeth, and this thing here. So I think people can logically make the connection, but I'm not gonna connect it fully just yet. In fact, I might even just erase this panel completely and keep his like appearance more of a mystery or something like that. But yeah, let me see. Hunter Josh, have you ever read Hellboy? Yeah, I've read little bits of Hellboy here and there, but I haven't fully dove into the series, just little bits here and there. Apparently it's really popular in Japan. They like Hellboy style. Joseph Lopez says, so what's the story about? Basically this is a supernatural horror story about two girls, two best friends. One of them borrowed money from a whoops, there we go. This one borrowed money from a demon once upon a time, and now they have come back to collect. So they're asking her for a favor, and at the end of chapter 1 they need her to off somebody. So that is basically the kind of contract that they're about to set up here in this chapter, and that is the reason for this conversation. So yeah, that is the main story, and basically it's kind of a morality tale, like to show, like, would you sell your soul for the chance at fame and fortune? It's kind of a basic thing like that, but the story itself gets more complex and fun, so we'll see how that turns out. Right now I am basically done with page 2. I'm gonna color this thing right here in with some black. There we go, and then we should be good to go and transfer to the next page. Well, I can't believe I didn't put anything in that folder yet, so I'm gonna highlight all this, put them in folder number 2, and just call it page 2. There we go. So that's page 2. This is page 1. And now we're just going to move on to the next page 3. Damn, I don't really have to do much on page 3. Nice. Okay. Let me see. Panel. That manga panel looks sick. Appreciate it. Yeah, it's only manga because it's black and white right now, but eventually I'm going to color it, and then it will be webtoons or webcomics. They have discipline, passion, live for their art, sacrificing their bodies and their health. Yeah, 100%. In Japan, for sure. And I don't want to sacrifice my health 100%. I want to, stay healthy for as long as possible, because if you sacrifice your health, that's kind of counterproductive to what you're trying to do. So I only work as hard as I need to reach my goals, but I can't actually sacrifice my health, or else I won't be able to draw anymore. So one of those things is just sitting up correctly, and then stretching out your hand every hour or so to make sure you can keep drawing correctly and all that. So I'm just gonna stretch out my hand. These are stretches I learned years and years ago to make sure I keep my hands limber and warmed up. You want to put your arms straight out, and then pull your fingers back and all that stuff. So yeah, we're back to it. And then JOM says, specifically the weekly chapter mangakas year round for years. Oh yeah, that's why whenever they take breaks, I'm just like, yep, take a break, man, because you deserve it. Especially Oda, Eiichiro Oda, for sure. And then Yoshihiro Togashi, for sure, with the hiatuses and whatnot. I'm thinking most of those were caused by incorrect sitting throughout his career. If you sit incorrectly for the majority of your career, it's really gonna be hard for you to continue. Okay, here we go. So you want to make sure you're sitting right 100% all the time. Okay. No, I want that in that folder. I want to hit multiply. There we go. Then I'm going to go in here. And then what I want to do is, okay, y'all can see what I'm doing. You'll see Joseph Lopez says, how many chapters are done? This is only chapter 1 is done so far, and this is chapter 2. So I'm working on chapter 2. It's going to be a 15 chapter graphic novel, and yeah, I'm trying to hit a pace of a chapter a month, like drawn and colored, but that might be impossible. But it's like, I want to put myself through the challenge and see if I can actually do that. So that is what I'm working on at the moment. So I'm going to hit shift. I wonder if y'all can see it when I hit shift. Oh yeah, you can. Okay, cool. I'm going to need this to be wider, actually. Give me 80. Then I'll hit shift. Actually, go back down to 70. And what I'll do instead is I'll hit my O button. And then I'll just move that down a little. Oh, what is it doing? Close. Okay. Still not 100% used to this tool just yet. Maybe if I lock that layer, it won't click it every time I need this. Perfect, that's what I wanted. Nice. That's what I wanted to do. Okay. So I'm going to take my division. Wait, maybe I hit it right the first time. Yeah, for the most part. I'm going to hit shift. Boom. I'm going to hit shift again. Boom. I guess that's as good as it'll get. Then I want to hit O. That's not O. That's just the object tool. Did I move this down? Doesn't really matter, actually. Okay. So I think we're good here. Next. Actually, I do want to take this and move it down. Okay. And then I'm going to go back to the frame divider. Dale A says, you get anything from Free Comic Book today? I forgot it was today. I heard it was today yesterday, and I forgot completely about it. Because every time I go to Free Comic Book Day, I just don't even... I get a whole bunch of free comics, and then I don't even read any of them. I get them, and then I'm like, awesome, I got free comics. And I think I'll cherish them and look at them and all that stuff, but I never read a single one, and then they just end up taking space in my room. Like, I think it would be the most greatest thing ever, but then like anytime I actually, like, in actual practice, I just don't even read them at all. So yeah, I wish I was like, when I was a kid, I was super hyped about Free Comic Book Day, because I'd never heard about it before until like maybe the end of high school. And I just noticed my actual patterns over time was that for me, getting a bunch of like free stuff that I wasn't seeking out makes it less important to me than a book that I was consciously looking for and wanted to pay for. Like, if I were, what's the word? Like, a book that I would really want is Blame, like the manga series, and I would pay, like, I would seek that out and pay the price for it, like for that whole series, and it would be like maybe $100 for all 10 volumes in Japanese, and I would pay for it, and I would cherish it because I sought it out, I was looking for it, and I wanted it, and I paid for it. But for Free Comic Book Day, like for free comics, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I got some pretty cool stuff for nothing. But then the attachment to those comics is also nothing. So that's kind of my feeling on Free Comic Book Day, because I just noticed over time that I wasn't reading any of them. Let's see. Okay, so I've got the clean lines here now. Let me say what's up to I have no tongue and I must lick. That's such a crazy name. That's funny. He says, are you making a comic? Yeah. I'm making my webcomic called Saintly. So yeah, I've just been working on that all day, and I'm currently working on chapter 2. So that's what I got here on the drawing board, and I'm just cleaning up the pages before I get to the color stage. So that's what I'm working on. And yeah, that's up. That's what's going on. Canvas Engineer, I think I've seen you before, but appreciate you coming out to the show. What's up? Yeah. Solidine Brian says, sup bro, FCD BD. Oh, Free Comic Book Day had some banger this year. Yeah, it depends on what the bangers are. Like, I'd have to see, but even now, like, I can't even waste the gas to, go out and get free comics for Free Comic Book Day. Like, the time it would take away from doing the comic would actually cost more than missing out on Free Comic Book Day. So, but if they had some like free manga or some free like stuff with really good art, that's what I look for during Free Comic Book Day. Like, anything that has like super good art, that's what I get hyped for. Or art by my favorite creators and stuff. Okay, so with this, I think the lines are good. Yeah, they're good to go. What about these ground lines here? Let me raise up the threshold. Yeah, that's fine. And then I'll take another layer, collapse that in, and then what I want to do is take this, I'll rasterize this, because since I do it on paper, I don't need the actual features that it has. So I'll rasterize the frame and then just get rid of it. And then I'll keep this and erase all the parts that I don't need here. There we go. Do. Yeah. Actually, I want to lower her down so she's not popping out of the frame. It didn't make sense when I drew it, but I couldn't really change it after that point. So I'm going to take her drawing. Do that. Nice. Okay. Sweet. Okay, and then I'm gonna... Damn it. She still has to be floating. Maybe I should make her smaller. I don't mind that. Let me look and see what it looked like before. Now after. Yeah, that's better. Okay, now I'm gonna have to fill in everything I just erased. Canvas Engineer says, do you have X? No, I do not. So I just used the Pro version. I'm pretty like X is the paid version, right? Well, it's not the paid version, but it's like the premium version. Yeah, that's the word. The premium version. I only have the regular, whatever the regular version is, that's what I have. It's kind of confusing because it's Pro, or it's called, I think it's called Pro, and then X is the more advanced version. But even that, I'm not sure because the terminology is confusing. So I just remember having Clip Studio back in the day. Like it was just called Manga. Actually, it was called Manga Studio back in the day. Like I got the last version before they started calling it Clip. It was called Manga Studio 5, and it was just, I still have it. I still have the base version that doesn't use the cloud, and it just, you get the program and then you can just use it all you want from that point. It doesn't have a subscription model. It doesn't have any of that stuff. But the thing about it is that what's the word? If you like having access to the cloud stuff, let me do that black and white thing to the layer again because I just lowered it. Having access to the cloud gives you access to a lot of features and materials that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. So that's a bonus for, you know, having the paid, you know, subscription service that everything turns into these days. But I did like it when you could just, you know, get something once and that would be it. Now it's just like, okay, I always have to, now it's just continuously paying for it. And that's just the way it is with everything these days. For some reason, it blinked off for a second. Let me... Okay, the lines are back to being crispy. Let me erase around it. I hate tangents. They just get in the way. Okay. Boom, boom. Her shoes. Or boots, I guess. I don't really have any fashion knowledge at all. I just kind of go with what kind of looks cool. Oh, yeah, I should put an extra line for her. There we go. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that's better. Nice. And that's just what knowing anatomy helps you do. Okay. There we go. Gotta close up all the little lines, the openings. Darn it. Okay, that one's good. But there is another opening somewhere. Right here. I found it. Okay. All right. Canvas engineer says, yeah, I want X so bad, but it's super expensive. Yeah, it's like 75 per year. I don't know. It's just more than pro version. Since I've got global comics, I just get it when I can do, especially for animation and split page features. I think you can do animation in the pro version or the version I have. This version I have is like, it used to be 24 per year or 27. It jumped up to like 33 or 37 or $40 per year. There's always inflation, man. But yeah, I got Manga Studio as well back on the CD. Yeah, I didn't get it on a CD. What they sent was a serial number strip, and you could just type in that serial number when you wanted to download the program, and that would be, you could use that up to 3 times on 3 different machines, and it would just be Manga Studio. And that was it. You had it forever, and you didn't have to upgrade. You didn't have to do anything. That was the whole program. Elmay said, yeah, I had the same thing. Yeah, those were good times. For X is like $200. Damn. Copy for Pro and X, you can get the non-subscription versions, but they don't update past a year, if I remember correctly. Dang. The caveat is they cost more. That makes sense, because I remember buying Manga Studio. I forgot how much it actually cost. It might have been like $75. I do remember how much my tablet cost at the time. That was like $200. It was my first tablet ever. And I still have that in my room somewhere, actually right behind me. But that was $200 for my first tablet ever. And then I have the computer that I was using it on. It was a Dell. And I would just use that and figure out how to do digital drawing with that old tablet and Manga Studio 5. And even now, I could probably still use that to make comics, but it's so funny. It's so weird. It's just outdated now, and not outdated in that, oh, it's old fashioned to use that. It's more like what I'm doing right now, using my iPad and the Clip Studio I have now is just faster and easier for me to get the actual work done. And in comics, that is everything. Speed and ease. You want things to be fast and easy to create. but you want the work itself to look good. You know, it has to look good at the very least. Okay. All right. Boom. So we got that. Nice. And then her eye, even from when I drew this picture, I was just like, this pupil needs to be slid over because it doesn't look right. Yeah, doesn't look right. So I'm gonna slide that over. And I'll probably do a little re-transform. Okay. Erase that a little bit here. Canvas says for Pro, it's $277. Fuck that. It was on sale for $15. Sherry Belmont. I feel like I've seen your name before, but hi, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show. I'm just drawing randomly. Like, I just decided to start streaming because I was gonna be drawing all day anyway. So today was a day without any other interruptions. So I thought, like, you know, let me just get a stream going and draw. Because I've been watching a bunch of streams of like Japanese artists just drawing their manga. I even got like Yusuke Murata playing in the background of him drawing like One Punch Man. So this is the kind of special stuff that as a kid, like wanting to be a manga artist, I would have killed to see, you know what I mean? So now I have it playing constantly. Anybody who's in manga, I just watch them and how they draw and stuff. But American artists on the whole are generally tend to be, what's the word? I guess more technically, I don't even know. I don't even know how to describe it. It's like American style comics just look more, what's the word? Fully rounded or full, like maybe anatomically correct. Like if we're talking about like DC comics or like Marvel comics, we're talking about comics that just look more like if you look at David Finch's artwork, like that stuff just looks like it's not as cartooned. Like it's just not as cartoony as what manga artists are doing. And it's not like a matter of it being better or not. It's just different. Like they draw the whole body. They render the hell out of it. But I like the cartooning approach that manga artists take, like Yoshihiro Togashi or One Punch Man or, you know, Eiichiro Oda. I just like how they simplify art, and it makes it approachable for anyone else to draw manga as well. Like a lot of people who get into manga art, like who want to be a manga artist, they're just like, wow, this looks pretty easy. I could do this. Like when you look at the art that they're producing, it's just like, huh, you know what? You know, I could make this work. Because they develop a style, like the style that they develop is out of necessity. Like they're drawing cartoons on a high level, but they're doing it that simplified for speed's sake. And then we just took it as, oh yeah, that's their art style. I mean, it is, but at the same time, it's like they need to be able to draw something fast enough to pump out chapters on a weekly or monthly basis. And the thing is, like, even if you're a monthly creator in Japan, it's not that much better than being a weekly creator, because they make you do like 45 pages a month instead of 20, which is what they do in America. It's like Invincible, if you count them, all the chapters are 20 pages each. And weekly manga chapters are 20 pages each. They can be anywhere from 15 to 25 pages for a weekly manga chapter. But for a monthly manga chapter, they can be like 45 pages. I've seen some bi-monthly chapters that are also 45. And I'm like, this math is not mathing. Like, how are you producing on such a high rate? Like, so fast, so skillfully as well. It's just like, dang, how do you not tire out? Maybe they're just built for it. Maybe it's Maybelline. You know what I mean? I was watching this video of the author of Kingdom, which is something I still need to read. The author of Kingdom working on his manga with his assistants and whatnot. And he needs assistants. Like he 100% needs them. Because if he didn't have them, he just wouldn't make any manga at all. Like Kingdom wouldn't even exist. He needs them because if you look at the video, he's doing a war story, a war epic, which requires drawing massive armies of people and warriors in one uniform and then another massive army in another uniform. And he needs assistants to be able to draw all those tiny characters on each page. And it's literally insane to see how much work goes into just being able to do that on I don't know what schedule Kingdom comes out at. Like if it's weekly or monthly or bi-weekly, I can't tell. I don't know. But it's insane looking at what is needed to keep up with the industry or keep up with his deadlines. But whenever we read past it in like 2 seconds. But it requires, those details are required to make the work look and feel real. Like it's a background thing. It needs to feel real to the reader. And that's why those background assistants are so necessary. Okay, I think we're done with that panel. So I do want another floof in her hair right here. And darn it. Okay. Awesome. Hmm. Okay. Let me check out the comments. Holy crap. Y'all just... Sheesh. Sherry says, watch some of your videos, but you keep uploading at a time I couldn't catch up. Yeah. Yeah, I always upload at like 12 because sometimes it's the last thing in the day I do literally, and I'm just like, oh, I'm so tired. And today I was just like, I'm just gonna randomly start streaming. Neil Adams feels like the major shift that increased the amount of rendering in American comics. Neil Adams. Are you saying you feel like Neil Adams himself was the strip, like his style was the shift? Because I forget exactly what his style was like, but I know he did some stuff on like Green Lantern and that kind of thing. Let's see. Sherry says there are some Western comics that are stylistic. It's just DC, Marvels are prominent. AAA, yeah, yeah. When I think about like Western comics, like stylistic, I'm thinking about like Humberto Ramos with like he was on, what do you call it? He was on Spider-Man, but I'm trying to think of which Spider-Man it was. It was like Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, he did some issues of Superior Spider-Man, and he did a whole bunch of other stuff too. But I think he was more accepted at Marvel rather than DC. DC definitely goes for more of a realistic style rather than what Humberto Ramos is doing. Let's see. Guys like Olivier. Oh man, I had my camera in a weird spot position. Guys like Olivier Coipel. Or is it Coipel? I always say Coipel in my head. Pepe Larraz and Jorge Jimenez kind of blend that realism with the more caricatured. Yeah, Jorge Jimenez especially, like, I was looking at him years ago. I was just like, this is like the perfect blend of manga style and American like DC style. He perfected it. So yeah, that's what I always got. The vibe I always got from his thing. Same with Dan Mora. Like, he's a good mix-up of those two. Old-time artists like Jack Kirby and John Buscema could pencil 3 issues a month. Yeah, because they had that like simpler style. They weren't drawing every single shoelace on. Like, yeah, I was seeing like tweets that would talk about this, where Captain America's boots were just like kind of like the boots I have here for my character. Like, this is perfect for webcomics, where it's just doesn't need to have all these shoelaces or anything. It's just simple stuff. But American comics these days draw every single shoelace. They give it a unique style, and then they have to draw that every single panel. And then the books come late, and they take 3 months to draw, and it's all because you're drawing like the hell out of every aspect, things that don't even matter. And then when people read the book, they're like, man, this book sucks. And it's like, you did all that stuff for nothing. That's funny. But Yoshi Hiroda says, manga, one person needing to do 15 plus pages a week. Yeah, American comics, 7 people working on 1 page. Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. I saw this video about like Garfield and the creation of Garfield, and it was just like 4 guys working on 1 issue or 1 strip of Garfield. And I'm like, the one guy, Jim Davis, could do that by himself, but it's just 4 guys, and it looked like they were totally relishing in how much money that the whole of Garfield was making, because they were just like, oh yeah, this is a process that we use to ink and letter the comics. I do the lettering, and then they send it off to another guy. I do the inking, and then they send it off to another guy, and it's like, oh yes, I scan them in, and then I color the images and stuff. And it's just like, this thing could be done by one guy, one person, but they're just getting paid, so they don't give a fuck. They're like that video is so funny to me. I was just like, man, they are chilling, bro. They're just relaxing. Because it was taking 4 guys to make Garfield, but the Garfield guy is so rich that he can just pay his friends, and everyone gets paid, and it's just, you know, just a good time. Canvas engineer, you also got background assistants. For manga, it's really common to have background assistants, so I wouldn't say is one person doing an entire page for themselves for a manga. Yeah. Though I will see a lot of YouTube videos of somebody just doing all the work on one page. Like, they're the only person doing that. I'm just like, yo, how are y'all doing that? And usually the assistants are trying to get into doing their own thing, so they tutor under the mangaka for a while. Yeah, they absolutely do. And then you have editors work with them as well. Yeah, the editors are so important to helping them like create a sellable product. Like they are 100% aware that manga is something that has to sell well enough to not only help the magazine continue to survive, but keep the series itself afloat. You know what I mean? So they make sure that the series will 100% sell. Let's see. Hiroto Yoshi, of course, assistants are a thing, but they aren't the mangaka, not to discredit their work, as opposed to comics that have pencilers, inkers, colors, and so on for every page. Yeah, everyone in like American comics are doing a job that they're so like skilled at it could be its own thing, or they could just do that by itself, but they're coming together to do one project or one product. And it's like each skill gets lost in the last, or gets lost in the next. It all comes together to make one product, but it's like each person who is an artist on that just gets lost in, you know, lost in the sauce. I don't really have a mind right now. I'm just sort of trying to draw. But with manga, the creation is so much the brainchild of the manga artist behind it that even the assistants can't really get in the way of the artist's original vision, and they are meant to basically help and enhance the artist's vision, not do their own thing. And that's probably why they don't get like credited so much, except if the author themselves is generous enough to be like, hey, yeah, I want to shout them out and give them their props. Like Horikoshi Kohei, he'll shout out his assistants, give them props. Masashi Kishimoto, he'll do the same thing. And the assistants on series don't tend to stick around. Like they usually go off and do their own thing, like somebody said in the comments just now. They usually go off and do their own thing, so because they realize like the glory, if you have any ambition to, you know, become a manga artist and get some of that glory for yourself, then it's not in being an assistant, it's in doing your own series, getting published, and selling to readers. Like if you're an assistant with ambitions like that, then you're studying under a manga artist to learn the trade, learn how to work in a team, get everybody on the same page, and improve your own craft before you head out into the working world by yourself. But there are a lot of assistants that are just happy with being an assistant, and they don't really they don't really want the glamour or the light. They just are 100% fine with being an assistant because that's how they make their money and what they're best at. Probably because they see the stress of like their manga artist, and they're like, yeah, no thanks. And it's also a matter of like that panel the last part of understanding comics, which I think I have on my shelf somewhere. Understanding comics, where it talks about how some people have specific ambitions in comics that lead to the type of career that they have in comics. Like some people try to draw, like the way he explains it is like some people try to draw, they get discouraged, and then they never draw again, and that they were into it as kids, and then they get discouraged. They maybe take it to an editor, and then the editor's like, this is trash, and then they get discouraged and they never draw again. Then the next person is a little bit more tenacious, and they're like they get their feedback, they improve their craft a little bit, and they keep going at it until they become like, let's say, an inker or a penciler or an assistant, and then they just stay at the level of an assistant because that's as far as they wanted to go. Then there's people who become more of a workman, like they become a jobber, like somebody who is skilled enough. They go beyond wanting to be an assistant to actually wanting to being a full-fledged like comic creator, and they go beyond that level, and they're able to make a living at doing comics, and they are just happy doing that. They're not trying to push to the most advanced level or whatever. They're just trying to feed their family and make good money. Then there's the person who wants to go beyond, like they want to push themselves as far as they possibly can go in comics. They want to rearrange things. They want to transform the medium, transform themselves, transform consciousness of the people that read their work. So they're pushing themselves to, go all out from the get-go. And their goal in comics is different. So they go past the level of somebody who's just working for it, somebody who's an assistant. They go past the level of somebody who's even making a living to somebody who can, change lives, or like make a whole lot of money, or like Eiichiro Oda or Dragon Ball Z, or like they get up to that level of pushing the medium of comics to a level that hasn't even been heard of. So it's possible to stop or choose which level you want to get to, and none of them are bad. Like there's no good or bad to each of them. It just depends on your goals for what you want to achieve or accomplish with a career in comics. Like none is worse than the other, but if you give up at making comics, like especially early on, then that just means you were meant to do something else. Like you just felt a calling for something that was not art related, that kind of thing. I personally feel like an affinity towards somebody who is, you know, trying to push comics as far as they can go, or not even, I'm not even that in love with the medium of comics itself, but I'm trying to develop a kind of a design philosophy through my comics, like how things should look, what things should feel like in my comics. I'm trying to develop it on that level. I'm trying to push as hard as I possibly can to not only make a living, but to be able to put my ideas out into the world. And to do that, I just need to keep drawing like there's no tomorrow. And that's like my personal goal with doing comics. And I get just a little bit closer to it every time I get to the drawing board, but I just have to keep trying. What was I even talking about, dude? Okay, y'all can still see what I'm doing. Okay, good. Let's see. Holy shit, y'all have been talking. Then you know, oh, is that let me turn that comment off. Where was that in the string? Oh wow, that was way back here. Okay, Rody, there's more time to hammer out more details at each stage, that way, as opposed to needing to slam out pages real fast. Eastern and Western pencilers have pretty much the same job, just that one gets the color and the other has its refinements in other ways. You can do more at the penciling stage because there's no color. There's no set penciler or inker or colorist in manga. It's usually the mangaka themselves, with or without credited assistants, compared to comics that have set rules and credits. Neil Adams was blowing people away in the late 60s. His art was very rendered, lots of hatching compared to other comic book artists of the day, compared to incoming people started to emulate him. Yeah, I think Bill Sienkiewicz was one of those guys that started to emulate him. Really fast, working on more than one run. Yeah, comics, but when you have to be the penciler and inker yourself with 15 pages that need to be finishing by your own hand, you don't have time like that. There's more. And oh yeah, Monben. Yeah. And I know while some manga artists have assistants, most of them are doing it by themselves. Yeah, there's a lot you can do by yourself while making pages. Like, if you look at my page that I have here for page 1 of Saintly, like, this is probably the extent to which a manga artist would do the work on their own. And even this is quite a lot of work to do alone. Like, you can just hand this off to like one of your top assistants, and then they would fill this in like black, like I did. Like, I'm just doing the assistant work right now while I'm working on my pages digitally. But they would fill this in black. Like, the manga artist would point to different parts and be like, this needs to be filled in black. There needs to be like a shadow over here. There needs to be some effect lines here. They would point to the different parts that need to be like touched up, so the assistants could work on that for them, and they can move on to the more like important stuff that they need to get done for the issue. Let me go back to this layout. Penciler had to pencil just like a manga, and the penciler, but the inks, and there's a lot of comments, I can't read them all. Kana Yamasaki has some good videos about being a manga assistant. Yeah, I've been watching her a lot lately. I just saw her interview with this Brazilian manga artist named Juan that I've heard about before in other videos. Um, but he does this manga called Matagi Hunter, and he's the artist for it while somebody else is the writer. And yeah, he's the one. He's somebody who's actually doing it. Actually, like he has so many books out in Japan. But he's the artist, and I think that's one of the best ways to actually get your work out there in Japan is if you work under a writer and have them write the series and then you draw the series. If you're really determined about becoming an artist or a creator in Japan, because that way you don't have to figure out how or figure out like what the Japanese market wants. Like you're making a series, you're drawing the series, and you don't have to, do the mental strain of writing the series. So yeah, I think that's one of the best ways. And he's an older guy. Like he somehow figured out how to get into the industry at an older age. And I think he started when he was like 32 as a penciler, or no, as an inker in American comics. So yeah, he figured out a way to get into it. Let's see. Dale A says some artists are just not creatively inclined to make stories about their own characters. They just really like drawing the art. Yeah, there's those types of artists as well, for sure. Comics to me are the cheapest way to scale an IP. You are the director and cinematographer and the art department and casting agent. Yeah, that's 100% true. But yeah, to Dale A's point, some people just they don't want to do that. And in fact, like there are some artists who have written and drawn their own story that they want to just go back to like they want a story written for them so they can just focus on drawing beautiful art. Like there's some artists who have written and drawn their story and they're like, okay, I'm kind of tired of this and I want something where I can just draw. And so that's an option as well. And it's totally like viable. And then for Canvas Engineer, like yeah, comics to me are the cheapest way to scale an IP. That's probably, that's, if I think about it, that's probably why I do comics to begin with. Is like, okay, how can I tell a story, a full-scale story that I have in my mind? Like the way I express myself best is through writing and telling stories. So I don't like to just write books. I want images. I want to create images. So I guess I'm going to have to draw the image and write the story, but I want there to be more images than a light novel where there's some images but a lot of story. But I want to be able to draw every aspect of the story and every expression. So comics are really the only way to do that. And to do it enough to where you have a full IP on your hands, like you just have to do a lot of them or tell a full story in the comic that you're making. So it's 100% the easiest way to scale an IP. Just look at like Invincible or The Walking Dead. Like it starts off as a comic, which is the cheapest way. It's literally the cheapest way to get a full scale story off the ground. If you want to do the images and all that stuff, like having the images and the story already basically like figured out in comic form is just makes every following step easier. Like if I already know how Vivi looks and I draw her as she's needed for each panel, so you can get the full idea of what kind of person or character this is just by her face, what's going on in the scene, all kinds of stuff. But if I were to write a book, it would just be not as engaging. Unless I could, like, I just don't have the skill to make it as engaging as drawing a picture. That's the thing. That's part of the reason why I do comics, because like if I could just write, or if I was more excited about writing than I was about making comics, then I would just be a novelist. But I like having the control over my character's facial expressions and, you know, just being able to take full advantage of the visual medium. That's what I like about making comics to begin with. Let me see. Darn it. Okay, so it's not going outside anymore. So I just need to close up whatever's doing the inside. There we go. Close that up right there. And then it should. There we go. All right. Okay. Nice. Sweet. So we're almost done with this page. I want to be able to get 8 of these done by the end of the day, if possible. That way I only have to do this for 3 days. But looking at how long it takes to just do one page, I'm just like, well, damn, I need to speed up the process somehow. Luckily, I don't have to do these like simple ass backgrounds. I made really simple backgrounds in this chapter, so I didn't have to do a lot of extra work here. And because they're what's the word? I don't think I want her hand going outside of the panel. Yeah, I think I'll just leave that inside. Do I though? You know what I'll do? I'll just give myself the option. That's what I like about digital. It's like you can you don't have to commit to anything. You can give yourself infinite do-overs. But that's also why I use traditional to start with, so that I still have that element of like this was done by hand, or part of this was done by human hand, or well, it was all done by human hand, but that traditional aspect to it, that traditional feel. Okay. Ow, my neck. There we go. All right. I think I will call this page Dunzo and move on to the 4th. I do these by 4, or I usually have like multiple pages in one file. I'm gonna hit save before I lose my mind. I usually have multiple pages in one file, so I don't I need to add more like details to the floor, but I'll do that in the color stage. Like cracks or, you know, things here and there. You know what I mean? What was I looking at? What was I thinking about? Oh yeah, I was saying that I usually do these in 4. But what was I saying that to begin with? Nice. Okay. Let me erase this line because it just doesn't work there. Nice. Okay. And we'll just call that done for now, but I want to move this finger behind. Okay. Hit save. And then I'll put that all in page 3 or in a folder called page 3. Doot. And then what I'm going to do before, nice. Well, before I do oh yeah, that's what the did it say I was connected or disconnected? Okay, I'm back. Nice. Dale A says the writer artist who wanted the story written for him, Jim Lee. Huh. I know McFarlane was saying get about 50 issues in to really build things out before you start to expand. Yeah, that'll take like 50 issues takes about like, if you're doing it monthly, about 4.5 years if you're really going on time and stuff. Let's see. Guys like Mike Mignola are amazing because they've gotten creators onto different projects with full runs for side characters. Yeah, that's insane. Like Lobster Johnson, I think that's his name, or BRPD. Dale says, do you pencil, ink, color your pages one by one, then come back and letter? No, I color. I'm doing like the inking stage where I'm going to finish the inking stage and then I'll do the colors one by one. And then once all the colors are done, what I'm going to do in this issue is I'm going to do all the lettering after I'm done with the inking. Because that will show me what to focus on in the colors and not, because if I render something too heavily and then it just gets slapped with a like balloon, speech balloon, that's just wasted time, wasted work. So you want a letter on top of the ink stage. So that's what I'm going to do in this case. Hey, what's up, Ralph? How you doing, man? Yeah, appreciate you checking out. I'm just drawing saintly right now. So yeah, I was just like, yeah, let me see. Let me just start up a random stream because I got nothing better to do. But yeah, yeah, 4 at a time. Yeah, I have 4 in each file. That's how I do it. And Sherry asked, do you publish your works online? Yeah, I publish right now my stuff is at Global Comics for like Air Rider, but Saintly is on my email list, so it's only available to read on my email list, and I'll just put both the links in my comment section. But yeah, that's the only way to read Saintly at the moment, and it's in black and white, and it's not the most updated version, but it's still readable. Like it's perfectly readable, but it's not the full thing like that's really refined yet. For that, I have like chapter 1, which is fully colored, fully written out, and all that stuff here. And eventually I'll be making that available online somewhere. But here I need to first of all save. And then what? So I put a note to myself on the page that I wanted to copy this image right here. Copy, paste. And that'll be for this panel here. Okay. I wonder if I should put it like this. No, I think it was better over there. Can y'all see what I'm doing? Okay. Nick Stream says, what brush do you use to shade? Shade? I'm not shading anything. I'm just coloring in all my black stuff on the inks. For shading in like when I start the coloring process, I'll just use a plain old G pen brush, or pen brush. Anything that'll help me get the shading in, like how I have on this. Which illustration? I'll just get like a simple pen brush and start painting and stuff. So this is the illustration I've been working on my like main streams, and that is, what was I saying with that? That's just the little side illustration I'm doing. So this for these ink pages, I'm just doing what needs to be done next. And I do need to change this arm before I get to the color stage for sure. So what I'm going to do is my first step, which is usually get the frame border going. Hey, appreciate it, Sevens. Says looking great. Appreciate it, man. I'm finally trying to get to a point where I can draw as fast as you. Like, I am just speeding by on these pages. I think it took me 2 weeks to get to this point from nothing, or like from starting off on pencils and then just continually drawing until I've gotten to the stage I'm currently at. Okay. So I'm going to take this, lock that. Nice. Then split up the rows. Hit the divide frame tool. Y'all can see what I'm doing. Hiroda Yoshi says, "Why does it send your emails to spam?" I don't know. It might be how you have your thing set up, or it could be that the email itself has so many like words and letters in the email who it's coming from, like from MailChimp, that it will put it in spam for some people's like filters and stuff like that. I gotta figure that out on my end as well, just to see how that works. Seven says, I appreciate seeing you keeping up with drawing and comics. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's I'm always trying to, improve and get a little faster and keep going, because I mean I don't really have anything else. Like like when I think about it, like this is all I'm good for, or manual labor. So yeah, if I don't like lock in right now, I'm just gonna be stuck washing dishes forever. So so I better be good at drawing comics, or I better keep working until I actually make this into something. So that's it's more like by necessity really, but it's still fun. Let's see. Okay, so here, why is that not as low as it should be? Oh, because I moved it all the way up. Okay, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to come a little closer. There we go. Nice. And then take this layer, rasterize it. Okay. I wonder if I'll do up to page 5 on this one stream, because that would take this all the way into 3-hour territory. But page 5 is like after this panel is like when things get really weird and trippy. But I'm gonna see if I can make it up to that level. Let me see how far I can push myself. Rasterize? No. I want to delete that layer now. Cool. Let me make sure I didn't delete any actual work. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to lock this. And I'm going to unlock that. I'm going to hit normal. Okay, maybe just not. And next thing I'm going to do, I'm not losing any information by going into monochrome, so I'm just gonna hit that. Go up on the threshold. Then I'll hit. Nope. Yep. Boom. And then here, I know I put some type of indication of which line I wanted to delete on the page, and it was that side line. For some reason, that just doesn't look right. General. What the hell? Okay, let me go to this. Good enough. Okay, y'all can see what I'm doing. Joseph, Lopez says, "What are other good places to get attention for comics? Webtoons. Like you don't have to sign up for their bad contracts. You could just post on Canvas for free, and they'll give your comic a lot of. There's a lot of traffic on that website, so you'll just get eyes on your stuff by accident if you post on there. You can also post on Reddit. If you like." What was I gonna say? I was like, contrary to popular belief, or like you can post on Reddit, and that's a really good place to post like strip comics for sure, because everybody's looking for a good laugh or a little bit of relief. Instagram is a great place for sure, but most of these places are good for like strips, where the story I'm telling is a story. And it's a little harder to make story comics interesting on social media, because on social media it's more important that it's like people immediately get what your comic is about in like a little short that's meant for social media, not meant to get people on your website. So if I were to just show this page on social media, like, and have there be like a little caption that says like, "Oh, what happens next?" Like nobody's gonna care, and nobody's gonna go off social media, because social media comics are meant for where they're at, not to get you onto another platform. Like you can try, but social media penalizes any like off-site links, and sites like Webtoons or Instagram make it like difficult if you're gonna start like putting links to another website. Like it'll just stop sending out your work to other people, so you can stop taking people off of Instagram's website. So that's the risk you run into when you're posting on those sites. Other good places would be Global Comics, just because it has like a fairly easy to use interface, and other big comics are on there, and maybe that'll get people to see your comic as well. Invincible is on there now. Some DC comics are on there now, I think. Yeah, man, I'm not really that tired, but I feel like some exercise is in order. I usually do some push-ups here and there, push-ups and sit-ups and all kinds of stuff to stay in shape, or at least a shape that I like, and that kind of keeps my mind going. Let me see. So it's closed on the outside loops, but the inside is open somewhere right here. There we go. Found it. We sussed it out and we killed it. Now I want to put her lipstick on. Nope. Yeah, DC and Marvel are on Global Comics right now. Yep, Dale A has just confirmed. That is insane. Like, they grew so much over the last few years, and I think it's because they basically filled the vacuum where Comixology used to be. They're like, oh, Comixology is dead? Bet, we got this now. And they jumped right in and, you know, they were able to seize the throne. And yeah, they're a decent company, at least from last I've heard. So yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. Oops. I want to let that turn off. Okay. I'm gonna hit. Damn it. Okay. Okay. All right. I'll just erase all that extra. All right. If I have an X here, then that means I wanted to delete that line. But maybe I should keep it. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah. Make sure that there as well. Then I'll go ahead and do a line. Nice. Then I'll do a line from here to here. Fuck. What if I turn off the frame layer? No, it's all the way through. But this is not closed. Everything else is pretty much closed. Except maybe some elements of this. All right, let's. Okay. There we go. All right. Boom. frames back. It's always hard doing his suit and his whole being because it's just black. But before I go, I'll show you guys like a little sneak peek at issue or page 5. And I do want to record my process of doing that. I just thought I'd be able to get to it in the stream, but I need to, I guess, go exercise and go eat or something. But I do want to show it before I leave. Where is recent? Open up page 5 to 8. Oh, here it is. So when she's looking down on page 4, she sees this. Like the whole ground is falling under, everything's going down, and it's just madness, craziness. Whatever this guy is underneath. And she's just like, what the fuck? And then buddy, other girl over there is just like, what the hell? And she's got her fingers just laced into the wall. And I got to fix the foreshortening on her arm. But that's going to be a task for later. But yeah, that is the next page over. And yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and end the stream here. But I really appreciate you guys coming out to watch and check out what I've been doing. I just wanted to do this randomly because just cut out for a second. Let me see. Can y'all see me? Okay, good. But yeah, I'll go ahead and end the stream here, and then maybe I'll come back tomorrow, maybe not. It's just kind of a toss up. But yeah, thanks for joining me, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.